hypnotism. Yeah, so there's three types that I would like to discuss briefly in this video. The first type is mind control, and that's how an individual can get another individual to do what they want and to do, or the masses, entities such as corporations, um, you know, banks, governments, religious groups. All of that has been used for ever, as long as anybody can remember, for mind control over the individuals, to get them to do what they want and to really just stay into that power and control, just for the sake of to have power and control. Then you have what psychologists or psychotherapists use, hypnotism, to access a memory that the individual wants to, that's too painful to access, they've hidden through trauma or something, and it's needed to access to be cleared out, or for memory. It's used to that. It's used in crime and all that for people to be accessed to that which was forgotten. And then you have the hypnotism that's used by channelers, and but it's used in a certain way to enable to get the mental activity into the background, kind of out of the way, so that the clarity can come through. The messages from the higher self, from the knowing without knowing, from the consciousness, the eternal consciousness that which resides within these vessels of ours, to come clearly through. And the channeler's not using it. It's not going, oh, I'm going to hypnotize these people today. It's just a knowing that happens because they know that it's taking your brain waves from a general beta wave, that thinking wave right now, down to a theta wave. And what happens is it slows down the electrical activity in the brain, so there's not so much mind chatter up front. The brain is always going. It's always going because it's there to keep you safe. And so what we do through the frequency shift, when you come in contact with us, either in a big setting in a group or on an individual basis, it happens through frequency shift. And it will make it so that it lowers that, again, the brainwave activity, so it's not so chattery, so you're more relaxed. Because the brain, as it's keeping you safe, it's making you feel. And there's all sorts of tension that happens. Generally, the human being is always really nervous. It's a human condition, is a part of it is to be really anxious all the time. And that's not something that can really be fixed. People take medication for that. Some people have it bad, so understood. But it's really, on a general level, that's just part of the human condition. Being nervous, we're like a nerve ending, always kind of like the electrical activity, just kind of moving about all the time. We never quite settle ourselves. So what the channelers do, it just relaxes you, so that you're not so much the mind so much up front. So you can actually relax and receive or have clarity within the self. So, and that's what happens during sessions with me. And that's why this message was brought about, to make this and to give this, is because I had realized that it's not something that I knew when I started doing any of this, that's actually what happens. So thank you for listening to this message, and maybe it's something that you're here that's going, oh wow, yeah, that's really occurs, or maybe you just view that's what happens. When you're in a session, people feel great within it, because again, you're relaxing, the mind gets out of the way in a sense, and so you can be present with that which arises, stuff that you couldn't normally pay attention to because the brain is too busy chattering away, trying to figure out what's going on, has all the questions, trying to keep you safe, all of that. And so people get out of the sessions, and sometimes there's a crashing that happens, and I feel great neural during all of that, and then the next day it's like I kind of felt depressed again or something like that. Not everybody moves. Everybody's individual in how they receive, and so not everybody crashes like that, depending on what's going on with you. And you take it with you and you leave these sessions. But again, it's a potential possibility that the crashing happens because of what is being mentioned in this video, is that hypnotism is a real thing, because all that's happening is it's moving your brain waves down to the theta wave. So you kind of, in a sense, that's what hypnotism is. In order to get the individual the clarity in what's taking place, you have to move that brain chatter out of the way. And the memory access, all that comes clearly through. Now, memories, some of them are stored in the brain, but memories do come, again, they come from the higher self, the knowing, that knowing without knowing. You can't prove it. Science doesn't really understand this because you don't understand consciousness and energy, and it's not in the brain. Memory is one of those things I could even create like a separate video on the whole thing, on memory access. But to get back to the point here in hypnotism, there's these three big ways that happens and that is used for in order to get the job done. Because the brain is the matrix. The brain doesn't understand consciousness. It doesn't understand that this, what's speaking right now, this being coming through, this vocalization, is not being from that. It's not coming from the brain. So it doesn't understand that. Kind of sits in the background a little bit and has still questions and this isn't, and all that, the judgments and all that. That's how you're able to, again, we'll stop going back up to the top. The very first mention was the mind control that is used from big entities. Corporations to make you buy those products, the advertisement, marketing, it's all mind control hypnotism. And again, the mind being the matrix of humanity. And this is what we're cutting through. We're not leaving the mind. You can't. We're integrating all of who we are with this. So, and it's coming along. It's coming along just fine. I just needed to give this message about that. How there's three of those big things that's used, different ways to hypnotize an individual, either on a mass level or on an individual level. The hypnotism that's done with the channelers is not done in a negative way, negative words here, go with what the message is being said here, is that it's not being used in a way to deceive you. It's being utilized very lightly and gently, and again, for one purpose only, is to be able to move that chattery mind out of the way and then access that knowing, because you just know that that intuition that you have. You just know without the brain. The brain's really good at math problems, all that technical stuff, but this knowing, all of this, about who you are, your eternal part of yourself that supersedes time and space. It's not religious or spiritual. It's just the way it is. It's the nature of creation and reality. And the mind is potent, a very, very potent thing. So all of this in my sessions that I do, the webinars, the events, the one-on-one sessions, it's happening in the background. I had no idea until I really sat with this, and that's pretty much what's taking place. And it's actually very special. It's a very delicate thing. It's a very delicate topic to talk about, but it's a very special happening how we can do this, and to move out of that manipulating power and control way to control somebody's being just to get what you want for your own selfish reasons, and selfish not in a good way. Selfish is a good thing, and we've been taught that it's bad to serve everybody first before ourselves. But this selfish of making people do what you want. People do it all the time with individuals. You see it in cases of sexual control over others. That's the biggest one, because that's the root of the human issues, dilemmas, you'd say, to make people do what they want to appease their desires. So it's happening on a family unit level. It's happening on a relationship, one behind closed doors. It's a way for humanity, again, to be able to control each other through that misuse of power and control. But it's also used in order for us to go to that places which we've never done before as a group of humanity. We've never done this in a mass way, to leave the old world behind of that mental mind mode of living. And so as we do this, we can trust. We trust in these spaces that all is well, and that the information coming through is coming from us, and it's not being put on us by the individual. And I go out of my way during the sessions to tell those people that, that's not really me here. It's you, and it's between you in these sessions. And I move out of the way, and it's not even the typical channeling stuff where I have like, Yeshua come through, or any of, the bigger ascended masters that got, here with us, what people think, in that body that they had before. So yeah, they come right through an entity that can channel them and all that. So it's used to help. It's used to assist in order for us to move through this new way of being. And it's nothing like we've ever done before. It's nothing for the mind. Maybe a little, again, paradox, but wording, maybe a little, but really very, 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 very little. So, hypnotism, again, it's real. It happens. It's happening all the time. And I really have nothing more to say about it, besides that, it is what it is. I guess just watching this video and hearing this message, you can take it with you, contemplate it or not, embody it, and be on your merry way. But if you have any questions, ever, anytime, just contact me at murielschickman.com. I'm on social media, as you know, and all that. And thank you for listening. Appreciate you. Namaste.